Hey folks, Eric the Old Jarhead here. Alright, after getting past some ugly nails in my last video, we got some logs rolled in and got this one up on the deck. And one of the things you'll notice here is that the swing out bunks on the outside was still out, so I had the customer pull that out of the way. You always want those out of the way when you load logs, otherwise they can damage the deck. So we got that one up on the deck, tried to get it positioned. You can see it's got a little bit of a taper, a little bit of stress, no big deal. Push it down, get it set up. Swing in that other bunk and get that in place. Check the pith, make sure I get the pith centered. Here the customer was right, and I often bring a metal detector with me when I go out on jobs. Sometimes I forget it. If the customers have it, that's the best thing. But if you heard right there, we hit another nail. Managed to cut through though. Well,
oh my God.
That sucks. You know? Are
you serious?
Where was it at? Right away?
Right there.
Oh shit.
I heard as soon as I entered the log, I heard this
right
zip.
at the very bottom.
I'm surprised that band held it together that whole time.
Yeah.
Barely, but you can see how rough the cut is.
Yeah.
Threw the teeth out.
Oh, Tim, if we have to, we'll abandon the lower ones and cut up all the upper ones. This looks like a small nail.
Yeah, it clipped
Off in the middle of the night.
It scares us to death.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Hopefully that's the last one. No more nails.
No more nails. That's what happens when we brag about how productive we were yesterday.
You know, it's actually rare, believe it or not. Just don't hit them very often. Bring a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Part of the reason. You just don't know. All right, got that nail out of the way. Now we can get back on this log. We're going to turn it into 1x6s. So once we get the cant squared up and I get it down to 12 1/8, I can go ahead and split the cant. We'll just knock it out. We'll get this thing squared up, get these cap cuts out of the way, roll it around a little bit, and split this log so we can get it off the deck. This pine had been sitting on the ground a while. It was pretty blue stained, but nice thing is we got all the bark off of it and it'll make beautiful paneling. All right, drop the side supports, make sure the clamp's out of the way, drop the mill head down to 6 inches and split the cant. Nothing to it. Once we get the cant split, raise the side supports, use the log clamp to roll it over. A lot of guys will say you don't have to use your side supports when you're milling a big log like this. I've actually found, and I think it'll be in one of my videos, that sometimes when you don't use your side supports to start on a big cant like that, it'll actually roll if you've got it, if you've got a narrow cant. All right, right down to the deck, cutting it about 7/8 of an inch off the deck. Get that metal detector in action. Now this log here had pretty big taper, had some stress in it. You can see that taper. So we're going to raise that toe board on the far end, get the log rolled around, get it in a good position, and then we'll start building the cant. And this one will be 2x12s. So, you know, standard procedure, determine where to make that first cut, take that cap cut off. Roll her over. Look at that blue stain. Isn't that gorgeous? That stuff is amazing. Now the cap cut. And then we'll roll it again. You can see that taper. It's quite a bit of taper there. That's why I check in the middle of the log to see what the average is. Get that cap out of the way. Get it nice and flat. Roll it up again. What we're trying to do is we're trying to work it down to a nice 12-inch cant, but you can see that we've got wane there. So we're going to kind of work it down, and sometimes that's just the way to go, is just try to sneak everything out you can, because you've got that big butt end of the log, and you know, when you make a good opening face, you're still going to have some wane, so you'll cut down until you get rid of that wane. And we're just cutting 1-bys out. You know, then we roll it around a little bit till we get it positioned right so we can take some more wane off. And again, we're just working it down, not only so that we can get it 12 inches wide, but so we can make some even cuts. So we kind of roll it around so we can take that wane off. And then away you go, take another flitch cut off, trying to reduce the wane. They need a lot of 1-bys, so it's kind of nice, because when you need 1-bys as well as 2-bys, you can make your flitch cuts with 1-bys and just kind of sneak it down to where you can get it to just the right width. And then you can use your 1-bys to get your height set. Now if you're cutting full dimension 2-bys or 2-bys on the evens, which will leave 1 7/8 actually, you just got to calculate where that height needs to be at so that you can take it all the way down. After a while you get used to it, you just kind of get experience with it, and then you just start knocking it down. Now we're going to move those side supports out of the way and make sure that log clamp's down. And I can look at the log clamp, and as long as it's about half on the bottom of the can, I know that it's only sticking up about 1/2 inch, and that gives me plenty of clearance. I didn't really need it here because I was milling 2-bys, but it's just a good practice to always bring it so that it's only clamping about half an inch on the can itself. All right, got that last cut done. Now, one of the beauties of hydraulics, I'll lift the toe boards up and get it up over 1 inch off the deck. It comes up about 2 inches, and that gives plenty of room to slide in tractor forks if you're going to just use a tractor and pull everything off. And it's so great when you got a tractor with forks that you can just kind of roll in there and pick up all of those 2-bys. Otherwise, they're pretty heavy. 2x12s, green, 14 feet long, they're pretty heavy. But the customer had a tractor, so pick it up with the tractor, get her off the deck, getting ready to do more. You have to stick around. The old Jarheads Sawdust Roadshow is going to get on the road today. So the next video probably won't come out as quick as I'd like, but stick around and we'll have some really big slabs coming up for you in the near future. Thanks for watching. The old Jarhead out.